Hey guys, how's it going? It's Sentient Anomaly here, and yes, my hair is a lot longer than last time. I didn't show my face in a while, so maybe you don't recognize me anymore, but it's me. Anyways, today I am a little bit on the side because I want to leave this space to show you some other information about something I'm going to talk about. So today I wanna give you some documentaries recommendation. Yeah, I know that's weird because I never talked about movies before, but yeah. So I actually always so I have always watched a lot of movies, but lately, let's say maybe in the last year or so, I started watching more and more documentaries. I find documentaries more interesting than movies nowadays because I mean, it's not like I don't like movies anymore, but after you have seen so many movies, things kind of get repetitive a little bit. It's like you already know what to expect and it feels like you've already seen everything. But with documentaries instead, I don't know, I find them more interesting because I'm not just watching something for entertainment, like just to spend some time. I'm actually learning something. I find them very educational, and I really enjoy like discovering about some topics I didn't really know anything about, or maybe discovering more about something I thought I knew. So yeah, so today I've got like about five recommendations of documentaries that I've really enjoyed it, and I think you should have a look. By the way, I'm not a reviewer. I'm not, I never done this kind of like top five or anything like that, and I never talked about movies before, so don't expect a professional review or anything. I'm just like very casually telling you watch these documentaries, that's all. All right, so number one is a documentary called The Red Pill. I watched this one recently, and it was made by a feminist filmmaker, a woman, and she wanted to like kind of like investigate more about the men's rights movement. And so she went, I mean, being a feminist, she approached the topic at the beginning of an investigation, thinking like she was gonna like expose kind of like what she thought the men's rights movement was about, which she thought it was kind of like, about hating women and things like that, kind of like the opposite of feminism. Like, when she actually started investigating it, then she discovered some interesting stuff. I don't want to tell you everything, so like just have a look. I think it's really interesting. I'm not really for, feminism or not feminism or men's rights movements or these people's movements. I don't really side myself with anything or anyone. I try to just live a peaceful life and stay out of trouble. But I think this one was, it was very educational, so have a look. All right, so number two, this other documentary is a little bit more lighthearted, even though this one also has some parts that are not so happy, but still overall it's much more fun to watch, and it's called Three Identical Strangers. And as you can imagine from the title, it's about three twins, a triplet. They were separated at birth, and then they managed to meet each other. They were in three completely different families, and they all three managed to meet. And this is of course a real story because it's a documentary. It's not recreated. I mean, these are not biographies with actors playing roles. This is basically these are just documentaries. So you have interviews, you have the real people talking about it. You have footage or clips or whatever from back when these things happened. So this one was like really amazing to watch because like the story of these three guys meeting each other, and like they are twins, they are identical, and they met each other and they thought like they were also behaving the same. So it was very interesting and very fun to watch. A great story. All right, and number three, we have a movie called the full name is this: Going Clear, Scientology and the Prison of Belief. Now, I don't know if you've heard of Scientology before. It has been like in the news a few times because there are quite a few celebrities. Like, I mean, the most famous celebrity revolving around Scientology is Tom Cruise. So you might have heard of this before. and it's supposed to be kind of like a religion, but I mean the name Scientology makes it sounds like it's based on science, like a religion about science. It's kind of like misleading, to be honest. It's not nothing to do with science actually, and on the contrary, it's I mean the what really Scientology is about. Like this documentary, it gives a very good in-depth exploration on this topic. So this was very interesting to watch because it makes you realize like the crazy things that some people subscribe to, and how they how certain people manage to just get thousand, I mean not even thousand, maybe like millions of followers, with what is basically a cult. Anyways, just have a look if you have time. It was really interesting. Okay, so number 4, this one is a really heavy one. This one is called September 11, The New Pearl Harbor, and it's 5 hours long, so it sounds like it's lasts forever. It's very long, but actually I really enjoyed every minute of it. I watched it in maybe 5 days or so, or more than 5 days. I remember watching 45 minutes at a time, something like that, before going to sleep. And it's actually very, very, very interesting. Of course, it talks about the 9/11, September 11 attacks, in America. I mean, the Twin Towers and the other ones, the other attacks. And, it's 5 hours of facts. And it's not a movie that says it's not a conspiracy movie where it says there is a conspiracy and people are lying to you. It's not presented like that. It takes facts, it talks about them, and then it poses questions. It says it doesn't say it's like this is the truth. It tells you, well, look at these facts, look at these records, look at this evidence. There is these many people that say these things, and these other people that say the opposite thing. So it doesn't only show the point of view of people that have a certain belief. It shows the point of view of people that believes the opposite. There is those that say September 11 was an inside job, and those that saying you guys are crazy if you believe that. So it gives the opportunity for both sides to express what they're saying, and then it poses you some questions after showing you a lot of data, a lot of evidence. Anyways, it sounds boring, but to be honest, for me it was super interesting. There's a lot of footage, a lot of experts talking about it. I think the 9/11, the whole thing about 9/11 is really important. I mean, people need to know more about it. So if you got the time, watch it. And then the last one, it's another kind of political movie. This one is called Fahrenheit 11/9, not to be confused with Fahrenheit 9/11, which is another movie, also another documentary made by the same guy, which is Michael Moore, which is a famous filmmaker. He makes documentaries kind of exposing certain issues, certain things. So you should watch this one because, of course, it's very contemporary. I mean, the other one about 9/11, it's kind of old now. I mean, it's still relevant, but not as much as this one. This one is something that's happening now because basically it talks about Trump a lot. It shows many interesting aspects about the Trump as a person and the Trump administration, and it talks about the water crisis on Flint. I'm sure most people be like, the water crisis on Flint? I mean, what the fuck is even that? I don't care about that. I don't live in Flint, but I don't live in Flint neither. I live in Japan. I've never been to America, but I think these are still very important things. And knowing about things is always good. It never hurt anybody to know that in some other country in the world they're having certain issues, because it just helps you figure out what's going on with the world. So anyways, yeah, Fahrenheit 11/9 by Michael Moore just came out. If you got the chance, if you have Netflix, I think this one is on Netflix, isn't it? I'm not sure. If you have Netflix or some other streaming service, or if you're poor like me and you just download it from the internet, that's fine. But try to watch it. I have more recommendations, you know, like I actually wrote a list that goes further than 5, but I think like maybe if I make too many names, people are just gonna like not focus on anything. So I'd say if you want to start somewhere, watch these ones, and I might make like a, you know, another video later saying like another 5 documentaries that you might watch. And I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, thank you for listening, and I'm Sentient Anomaly. Please check out the rest of my channel. I am a very unsuccessful YouTuber. I make about around 50 views per video, maybe on average. Also, I have a YouTube channel. Of course, I have a YouTube channel. I have a Facebook page. I have Instagram. You can find links in the description. If you wanna, you know, follow me, please follow me. All right, guys, that's all for now. I'm gonna be back next weekend with another video. See ya. So oh fuck shit.